Okay, my lights are shit. My hair isn't done properly. I don't have my fancy bullshit blanket that I usually put onto my bed to make it look better. Um, I just want to talk. I don't want to really have to edit this too much. So yesterday I watched a video by Dodie and Hazel Hayes, and I'll link it down below if you haven't seen it. But it was about oversharing. It was called "Am I Oversharing Too Much?" and it addressed like cries for help. And I guess how little time we've had as a species to adapt to fast and ever changing modern technologies, social media. It was about sharing mental health or lack thereof with the internet and the positive and negative impacts that can have on both the person sharing and on the audience absorbing that content. Honestly, it made my thoughts start racing because that's been something that's been on my mind quite a lot, oversharing, and how that relates to what I do, and I've been questioning why I do it. Like, do I do it for the reasons I'm going to discuss? I'm going to go into like attachment styles and all that kind of stuff in this video, a bit of psychology, but also I'm an educator as like by trade, so I don't know where the line is. None of us know where the line is. Is there a line at all? Should there be a line? Human beings have never been in this position before where we can broadcast ourselves to tens or hundreds or thousands or millions of people and share anything. Like, most psychology experts agree that oversharing is a method to cope with anxiety. People use it to try and control anxiety, but it can result in more anxiety, therefore more oversharing, and depending on the type of oversharing and the consistency of it, it can spark off this big negative icky loop where you get stuck in it. I love Dodie. We all know that. I met Dodie in 2014, and in that time since 2014 her life has changed hugely, like so much. She's had astronomical success as a musician and an internet personality, and she's been very open online about her mental health struggles. I can literally see her depersonalization, which is a kind of detachment she suffers from, which she's spoken about herself. But it's like I have witnessed her in a room full of people, but she's kind of like staring off into space. Or if you're talking directly to her, sometimes it's like she's not there behind the eyes. It's like she is there, but she's not. You're looking at her while she's floating above up here watching the conversation. It's very hard to explain, but you can tell that she is going through that. And in one way, I feel it would be very disingenuous to not share that and to not talk about it. But I've got to admit, as others who adore her have admitted to her, that I struggle to sometimes watch, say, Snapchats or like read the captions of Instagram posts that she posts. Firstly, because it's difficult and tough to see anyone, but especially someone you care about, turn to a device without a pulse so consistently instead of other people to connect with. I find that hard, and I kind of take that on a weight onto me. It's just the way I am. I kind of absorb everything that I subject myself to, but you know what I mean, like everything I look at and engage with, I do absorb that in some way. And secondly, because honestly I believe that if you absorb that kind of energy often, it'll affect your own energy, and I'm really big on protecting my energy. I'm a very happy and optimistic person after a bunch of very shit years, so I am really careful with what I kind of let into my day-to-day circle. Everything in life has a ripple effect, and if you're sharing very, 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 very dark moments from your mental health, like as you're in the pits of it, to a huge audience, you don't know what impact that will have. You don't know how far-reaching the impact of your words will be. The positive way to see this, though, is that yes, her sharing in the midst of all of this, and she's one of very few people really out of the whole world's population who have this kind of audience and who do share these things, that it helps a lot of people feel less alone, and it does inspire and motivate other people to reach out and seek help and sort out their issues and sort through them. I know that I myself used to rely on people talking about mental health. However, they'd always talk about it in hindsight, never like in the midst of it when they're still dealing with it. But again, like Hazel and Dodie touched on in Dodie's video, when you are so afraid of turning to other people to ask for help, out of fear of being a burden or fear of it being embarrassing and stuff like that, that's really, really sad. And I think that's one of society's biggest problems right now, and I think that massively contributes to anxiety and depression levels being at a peak. Like studies show this. There's huge correlations, causation. Humans have gotten to where we are through human connection, and we're losing that with technology. We don't go to church anymore. And no, I'm not religious. You guys know this. I don't like the institution of religion. However, the act of going and knowing that you have this big community and support and stuff like that, like that's just not there as much anymore. People don't play on sports teams as often and go and do hobbies and clubs and all that kind of thing, because research shows how much extra amount of time people are spending online every day. So again, like it's become natural to seek validation and stuff from and comfort from virtual people. We have this crippling fear of opening up and of being vulnerable, and we rely on our phones to act as this shield, like an armor to protect us from, don't know what the fuck we're trying to protect ourselves from, but yeah, we go and vent on our phones on social media, like with passive aggressive shitty tweets and just a lot of feelings about this. According to research, there are 3 main attachment styles in humans. There is secure attachment style, avoidant attachment style, and anxious attachment style. You can read up more about these, but they're part genetic and they're part kind of a byproduct of like how we were brought up by parents and all that kind of thing. And the anxious attachment style makes up for about 15% of the population, and these people are more likely to overshare on social media. If you had inconsistent nurturing for whatever reason, and it doesn't mean you had to have bad parents or anything like that, but my family, there's divorce and just so many things, going from childminder to childminder, all that kind of stuff, and you're more oversensitive to social cues. So some people just struggle more with technology. This is why you might see that you're friends with certain people on Facebook and they never feel the need to share anything. They barely ever post, but they use it to just share funny jokes or keep in touch with their friends through messages and stuff. And other people might spill their absolute guts and souls onto Facebook or Tumblr or Twitter or Reddit or wherever. Like usually people will focus in on 1 or 2 platforms. Like for me, it's YouTube and probably Twitter and Instagram stories. The reason is talking about yourself stimulates the parts of your brain associated with like reward and addiction, and you get a rush when you share information. You just get this kind of very quick like that, and it makes you want to keep doing it and doing it and doing it. You're getting a rush out of sharing more than you probably should. So it makes total sense, but like, should we exercise more self-control? Don't know! I know I overshare, I absolutely do. On my channel, and even more so in my book, which I'm getting terrified of it coming out now, just because I know it's on the final print run and I can't do anything about it now. I offer up a lot of anecdotes out of my life, and I don't know if I'll regret this one day. Regrets are stupid, like they are, but at the same time, I don't know if certain things I've talked about or spoken about will come back to bite me. Maybe it just doesn't matter, because like other people don't really care that much. When you hear something about someone else that you don't know, in the moment you're like, oh, but you don't carry that around forever. The amount of things I've heard people say, and I just forget about it straight away. But yeah, like going back to the mental health stuff. Sorry, I cannot get fucking comfortable in this video. One thing that I definitely try to practice is that I only really delve into mental health stuff, most of the time anyway, after I've gotten through it. So like, I'll go through something, I'll try deal with it as best I can and learn from it, and then I take what I've learned and ways I have grown and stuff like that, and I try and talk about stuff in hindsight and share with you guys after the fact, to be helpful and to educate and spread awareness and stuff. I feel like that's more helpful than if I shared while it's happening. Like when my dad nearly died last year, if like I was on the floor sobbing, crying, drooling on the carpet, like for me to share in the middle of all of that how I was feeling, how dark it was in my brain, I just don't think that energy, me putting that out there, would have fucking helped anybody. I just don't. Whereas I got through it all, and then I turned it into art. Like, Dodie's talked about this, but, you know, turning your broken heart into art is a whole saying on the internet, but I made a short little filmy thing called Dear Separation Anxiety, and I channeled it into making that video, and I left it there. You know what I mean? I think, I don't know, that's the way that works for me. But the thing is, there's no right way to do things. We've got no guidebook. I still overshare that information. Like, I'm sharing that with thousands and thousands and thousands of people, when many people would go through that and they'd share it with their tight circle, like 3 or 4 or 5 people. So I don't know if the long-term effects of that will be positive, even though the short-term effects of me making that little short film about something so personal were positive. Like, I have talked about so many aspects of myself, my brain, things I've been through in many ways, and I don't know, even though it helps me in the moment and it does help other people, like, there's no way to know. We're all literally fucking pissing into the wind with this. Something I know for sure is, if part of what you do as a full-time YouTuber is open your heart, and like, you know, you, it might be through music, through vlogging, through filmmaking, whatever, writing and stuff, taking time out for real human connection is so fucking important. I'm really mentally happy, but I have shit down days. And I remember times in the past when I wanted the ground to swallow me up, but is sharing in the middle of that going to be productive or not? Like, do you guys think I overshare? That we overshare, like YouTubers in general? Have I shared things with you guys, my audience, that you guys would find difficult to share with your own families or your therapists? Do you think Dodie goes into too much detail about poor mental health online, or does that help you, or do you find it detrimental? I really want to know what you guys all think about this in the comments, and I hope more people will make videos about this. I'm trying to figure out where I stand and how I should go forward. Like, I'm fucking crazy about someone right now, and I, you know, when that happens in your life, your brain does crazy shit. Is it not politically correct anymore to say the word crazy? I don't know. It's just part of my vocabulary. Sorry if it is. But you know what I mean? Like, and that's something that I feel like, am I lying by not telling you guys about all that stuff? Is that dishonest? Or is me keeping that for myself, me protecting myself because of past experiences? Like, I just don't know anymore. Talk to me down below anyway. And big hugs. I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye guys.